Can you see my screen?
Yeah, right now it's blank.
I'm just wondering why. Share screen. I said this. This share. Okay. Share screen. Okay, let me see. How about now?
Yeah, now we can see.
Okay, let's see then. Okay. Yeah, we'll start. Slideshow. I'm going to make sure the slideshow works. Why is it not working? Okay, now I've. Okay. Oh. Now you see the slide complete in good size?
Yeah.
Okay, very good. Asmat Gurubhyo Namaha, Asmat Parama Gurubhyo Namaha, Asmat Sarva Gurubhyo Namaha, Shri Krishna Parabrahmane Namaha, Shri Lakshmi Hayavadana Parabrahmane Namaha, Shri Lakshmi Nrsimha Parabrahmane Namaha, Sarvam Shri Krishna Arpanamastu. I was actually thinking about this Dharma subject. The way I look at it is, I don't think all of us are at the same level of understanding the term Dharma. I will go a little deeper today, but I will not come to Varna Dharma today at all. I cannot come to Varna Dharma because I looked at it. We still have to clarify a lot of things about Dharma, and we will take a little bit more time to look at Dharma more seriously, in depth, because it's a little complicated at the very outset, at the very Mula Rupa, or the root cause Dharma, or the root Dharma is a little complicated. So we need to look at it from different perspective. So what I suggest is, let's take this class to a next level of depth. So summary of the last class on Dharma, right? Why is it a Purushartha? And why many people don't look for Dharma? Most people are interested in only Dharma, that is Artha, Kama, Purusharthas. There are 4 Purusharthas, right? Going after wealth, going after desires, going after Dharma, and going after Moksha. So these are 4 ends of life. But most people are stuck in Artha and Kama, wealth and pleasures. So why is that? We will look deeper into this, deeper into that question, and how to find answers to the question. So we said Satya is truth, and it's a cause of everything, and that is Brahman. Dharma is Brahman. So Brahman himself is Dharma. So Dharma, he defines the state at the very origin. He defined the state of Dharma, saying that this is what Dharma is. In this, it's not like he is telling and defining like how I can define or you can define, but the very nature of Brahman makes this universe happen, and that nature itself is Brahman. And we talked about Satyam, that is from Chandogya Upanishad. So Sat is that constant truth, the original truth from everything, from which everything comes out, or everything is created. The whole universe is created from Brahman, and Brahman becomes the universe. We already talked about it. One who knows this, Sat and Ti and Yam, we talked about Ti is that which is immortal. So one who knows day and night the mortal and immortal nature of this universe can experience Brahman right here. That we talked about. I hope you remember. We talked about Dharma, which is a bridge, that is a path to get to Brahman or Satya. So Dharma is the path, and you need efforts to get back to Brahman. We are not there in the Brahman stage. Now the bridge is broken. We are in a different state at this point. From this state, we cannot understand Brahman or realize, perceive Brahman. So we have to go and perceive Brahman. Why? We will talk about that too. We said Dharma is also the true nature of Jivatma. We said that also. We also said Dharma is the nature of almost everything. we spend more time on Artha and Kama, we talked about it. Healthy state of Jivatma is to be in 4 states. 4 states is dream, wake, sleep, and Turiya state. But we have forgotten the Turiya state, so we are not healthy at this point. The 4th state is also known as Samadhi Sthiti, where the experience of Brahman can be had right here. That Brahman is also Dharma. That's the ultimate goal for us. And he happens to be also the person to be experienced in the state of moksha. Did we cover anything else, or did we miss anything else last time? Do you remember? Okay. Even this class is going to be a little bit interactive, okay? So let's look at life again. I made a statement in almost like a quiz. Everyone looks for happiness, ants to humans, we said. Ants only look for, they're hungry, so they are just once they eat something, they're happy, or we don't know whether they're happy, but we can't say that it is happiness. Well, that's okay. At the lower level, probably we think that they have less jnana, they're lower in the intelligence scale. So what basic needs could be just as a satisfaction. Satisfaction is another name for happiness, right? Happiness cannot be defined very well. Generic definition which applies to everybody's happiness, it's not easy to define. So to look for some wealth, and this one we look for a job, all our activities are driven to satisfy some need in us. And let's assume that satisfaction of some need itself is happiness, since happiness cannot be defined very well. So all our activities, including pleasures, everything is to satisfy something fundamental in us, which we can roughly say, as we are trying to satisfy or look for happiness. Why everyone is looking for happiness? Any any answers? This is interactive here. Why should everybody look for something to satisfy something, or look for something to be happy? Why? Nobody would say, I am looking for sadness, I want to be very unhappy. It's not true. Naturally, we look for something, some fun, joy, happiness. Why is that?
So Anandam is the natural state of the Atman.
Anandam is the natural state of the Atman. Good. A little bit further, can you explain further and say why? Why is the state of Atman Ananda?
So the natural state of Atman is Jnana, and anything that's Jnanamayam is also Anandamayam. They are the same, one and the same. Jnanam and Anandam are one and the same. At an Atmic Dharma level, so we are looking for not Ananda, but level lower than that is happiness. Ananda is one level higher than happiness.
Okay. Agreed. See, the thing is, there is what generally Shastra says, we came from Ananda. That is, where are we? We came as an effect of this universal process of creation. We came from Brahman. Brahman is Anandamaya. So our very self, our Jivatma, truly is Anandamaya, really speaking, and that is covered up now. In this state, we are covered up with, why are we covered? We have something known as Sukshma Sharira, that is the subtle body we have, which is mind, Indriyas, the senses, mind, Ahankara, all these things are subtle body for us. And then we have Sthula Sharira, that is the gross body. Because of these two bodies, our Ananda level is reduced to a very normal, what we call as human happiness and things like that. But truly speaking, we are Anandamaya. So we came from Ananda. That is Dharma. Why did we talk about Dharma? We came from Anandamaya, that is Paramatma, that is the Brahman. So Brahman's nature, when you say Dharma of Brahman, it has got different different aspects to it. Satyam, that is existence, truth. Second is Jnanam. He is nature of consciousness. We roughly speak as consciousness, but this consciousness is not the right word for it. But we roughly know it. So it's just say, let us say Jnana. The very form of Jivatma is also Jnana Swarupa, or our form of what we are made of is knowledge. And similarly, Brahman, the very material which Brahman is made of is Jnanam. Anantam means he is limitless. So Brahma. We also add Ananda. Ananda comes in a slightly different verse. Satyam Jnanam Anantam Brahma is one sentence which talks not much about Ananda, but only about the rest of the qualities of Brahman. So the qualities of Brahman is also Dharma, right? Dharma is nature. Now, let's take it to the next one level. See, for an ordinary life, we first look for some happiness, but we don't know where to find happiness. So we do a lot of activities. We go skiing, we go, it doesn't matter how many activities we try to do. At the end of the day, we are looking for some satisfaction, fun, things like that. So now here comes, we need to understand, dig deeper to find the nature of levels of happiness and why it happens. We look for happiness in the sensual world, that is in the world of senses and sense objects. And we have this in eyes, ears, and all these are our senses. Through that, we look at the sensual world, and whatever satisfaction we get, that's what, okay, we are now happy. But if some people are very wealthy, they are not looking for any money or any kind of basic comforts, creature comforts, they will also look for some happiness like charity. They feel good that, okay, they helped some very poor people, the very hungry people, people in a lot of need, they went and helped. So we see that even very rich people or even not so rich people do charity. And they show compassion to people. Even compassion is a form of our dharma. It's the nature of the Jivatma. But the thing is, right now we are looking through only sensual world. And here the happiness is limited. And there is a nature we need to understand. The nature of the sensual world, we need to understand slightly better. So we start with a small story. Just a story is very simple. It says there is a fox which likes the wild berries in the forest. So every time it goes and then finds these wild berries and starts eating, and it cannot control itself. And the wild berries makes the fox very sick. It cries out of pain, stomach pain or that pain. Something happens to the fox and it cannot bear the pain, right? But once the fox is sick, and later on, a couple of days afterwards, again, it looks for wild berries because it likes the color or something like that. It thinks that there's a lot of value in it. Goes, tries to eat, again, same thing happens. It may say, oh, this time if I just go close to the wild berries, it's okay. If I don't taste, it's okay. If I eat only one wild berry, it's okay. So slowly, it gets attracted, and it gets into the attraction level, and it cannot get out of. So these indriyas and the indriya arthas, the sense objects, are in this kind of a strange level. That is the dharma. That means they attract people, and people get stuck into the world of indriya and indriya arthas. That's very straightforward to understand. It's similar to flies which go towards a lighted object like a bulb. Even though the bulb is hot and the flies are going and touching the bulb, even if one wing gets burned, it again goes using the other wing towards the bulb, because it's naturally attracted to the bulb. This is how human beings, animals, they get attracted to the sensual world, even though there is not much happiness in the sensual world. So we need some escape velocity to get out of the sensual world. Why am I saying all these things? It's all a question of dharma of the sensual objects around us. As I already told, that we are stuck in this body and we are stuck in front of the sensual objects, and they constantly attract. That is the nature of the sensual objects. Jiva dharma is to find better happiness than sensual happiness. This constant interaction happens in this life. So we talk about what is maximum happiness, human happiness. We talk about lots of money, ownership of the entire world, and being young and good health and all those things. But even this is limited, right? If you want to go for higher level of Ananda, why are we talking about it? The Vedas, the Shastras, and the true nature of the self is to get the maximum amount of happiness, right? Because it always looks to see Brahmananda. Because it came from Brahman, we look for the same happiness what we had when we were with Brahman. Assume that. Don't get into deep discussions about, where is the karma? How did we get here? We'll talk about it later, or we have already finished talking about it in other lectures. So we don't want to get in there. So unlimited happiness, according to Shastra, what one can get to the Jivatma is, should have no thirst. We talk about the Ashta Gunas, that is Apahata Papma, Vijaro, Vimrutyu, Vishokaha, Vijigitsaha, Apipasaha, Satyakama, Satya Sankalpa. That same thing I put it in English. No thirst, no hunger, no sorrow, no old age, no death, no sin. Because you don't want to get back to this world of cycle of births and deaths, and no desires. So I should have put Papa instead of sin. Excuse me, I haven't learned my lessons yet. Our plans break many times. We plan and it doesn't work out. So Satya Kama and Satya Sankalpatva we don't have. So we're looking for maximum happiness where our wishes come true, our plans work out, and all those things. That we are looking for, because that's where the highest happiness is Brahman. Again, I'm coming back to what is Brahman and Dharma. Brahma Dharma is to have Satya Kamatva, Satya Sankalpatva, true will, and everything like that. Eventually, when Jiva gets to moksha, he gets all these benefits. Supposed to, right? So we are talking about Dharma, and we are talking about Dharmartha Kama Moksha, and see how they're all connected. Now we talked about we live in the three cities. What the three cities are? The three cities are the waking state, dreaming state, and deep sleep. They are known as Tripura in the Shastras. Tripura is three cities. In this three states, our world is restricted to the sensual world, sense and sense objects. If we get to this, so here, we don't feel the need for anything more. We don't feel the need for Atma Sakshatkara, or true realization of the self, need for Brahmananda. We don't feel the hunger for it. Unless you get to a time state, a different time state, which is Turiya Avastha, or it's not time state, I meant time space. So we need to get into a different time space, which is Turiya Avastha, the fourth state. Only then we truly know what the true nature of Jiva is, what is our hunger, what is our goal, what is our true state. The very truth will be visible to us only in the fourth state, if we go to the fourth state. That's why Shastras, even the Kathopanishad very clearly says, Paranchikani vyatrinat swayambhuhu tasmat parang pashyati nantaratman kaschid dhiraha pratyagatmanamaikshyate avrittha chakshuhu amritatvam icchanne. It says, the Lord, the Creator made our senses to go outward. We only see outward. The eyes cannot see inside. We cannot feel the eye, but we only feel the external world. So only a rare dhira can see inside. Who can achieve immortality? Immortality. Here in this world, people, when their attention focus concentration is outside into this, the world of sensual objects, they cannot find immortality. All they find is restricted happiness, and all experiences are lost. Yesterday you're happy, tomorrow, or today you may not be happy, I may not be happy. We all go through these phases. That is all mortality. And people who are interested in immortality or Ananda inside, they have to go through a process of time, space change into an inner world. So our dharma, true dharma is happiness, Ananda. And to get back to the state of Ananda, that bridge is broken because we are stuck in this universe, stuck in this external world with limited happiness. So if something is wrong, we need to fix it, right? So the health is swastha. Swastha means to be in the true self state. We already talked about this, so I'm not going to go through again. So if this the technique of going and seeing Atman every day is gone, you cannot give that to the next generation also. So because many generations people didn't know that technique, we lost that also to a great extent. That doesn't mean there is no Atmajnani. There are some Atmajnanis hidden somewhere. We need to find where who they are and where they are. We talked about this already. I'm going to skip this slide. Just want to mention that we want the fruits of dharma, but we are not willing to work for dharma. So that's something we need to change. Our efforts are needed. And rishis have gone to that state and given us how to get there. They have given some shastras which tell us how to get back to our original state. And the shastras are also dharma in a way, because they tell you how to get back to your original state of true nature of Jivatma and to reach Paramatma. So they help you get back to your true dharma. Hence, the path itself is known as dharma also. So how did the rishis find out this dharma? They did not go to a library or study books or anything like that. Rishis basically meditated, went to a state of Turiya, then found all truth directly, because there their Gyana or their knowledge was not tainted by any interaction or any restrictions from any environment. We talked about this. So now, why am I talking about all these things? Is we have to understand what we understand as our world is this bhuhu. Bhuhu is the realm of the sensual world. That is what we experience in using our senses. Through our senses, whatever we experience in this world, it could be even a far star or a black hole, billions of light years away. It doesn't matter where. But bhuhu, it doesn't mean earth. Bhuhu means that which can be experienced using our senses. Of course, to see a star far away, we use a telescope or something, radio telescope or some instrument. But at the end of the day, what do we perceive through? Our eyes perceive, right? Our eyes perceive that, or our senses perceive that. So anything, all our experiences can be contained in this world, bhuhu. That is a sensual realm of experience. Once we want to go into a higher level of experience, you have to control your senses. And that is what the yoga says as chitta vritti nirodha. When you control your senses, then your sensual world, your sensual activity is reduced to zero, sort of zero. Then what happens is internally your pranas, there is something known as pranas within our body. The yogis can feel that. The pranas start acting. When the pranas start acting, they can see Devata. That is the stage where they can see Devatas, different gods and deities and stuff like that. That happens to people who are yogis. So that is a higher level of happiness where they can interact with the forces, with the Devatas. A higher level is The second level is known as Bhuvaha, Bhuhu, Bhuvaha, Suvaha. As you know, in many of the mantras, and they use Om, Bhuva, Suvaha, and all those things, right? These mantras are used. The mantras basically mean this. Many times we don't realize this. Suvaha means Adhyatma, that's even higher. That is a level of Atman, and that comes through. So how do you get to the state change? The normal state is Bohu. That is, we live in the sensual world and experience the senses. That is our normal dharma. Or in the state of this bondage, this is our nature, how it is, right? We'll see in the next slide. This slide we see there are 3 levels of jnana. Our jnana is corrupted in this only sensual realm. It's not complete. It only deals with the objective world. The senses deals with objects. It's an objective world. But it doesn't understand the nature of the subject. That is the I, which is seeing and perceiving and doing things. I don't know the nature of this I. This nature of this I will be revealed further when you go into the next state. You cannot switch to the next state because you have to do some work. Effort is required. That effort is known as dharma. So dharma is required. Effort is required to switch from the sensual realm of knowledge into the Devata level of knowledge, where we see the actual Devatas. That's one level. The next level is Adhyatma. To get to the Adhyatma, a person has to do yoga. What does it mean? He has to, he can feel the sounds, the divine sounds known as the nada inside us, the pranava nada, and the inner light, which leads this person to the level of Adhyatma realization, where he can directly have the perception or realization of Brahman. So he needs support of Brahman to get to the next level. That is also dharma. Now we're coming back to the word dharma. Dharma means methodology, pathway. So dharma is required to get into these different states. So if you look for happiness outside, it will be very limited. You constantly change oh, I'm bored of doing this, I'll do something else. Even the richest person would say, oh, that's enough. No, I'm going to do extra terrestrial rockets which can go and find out what is in Pluto or something. I want to create a new rocket to do that. He may be looking for something else. So there is no end to looking for something till you reach Brahman. So you have to go inwards and then find Ananda inside. This process of reaching Ananda is also dharma. Any questions? I've been going through for a while. I just want to ask you if there's any questions.
Krishna, there was a question in the chat window that said the happiness here is sensual happiness. What is this Ananda? What kind of pleasure is that?
How do I find where? 1 second, hold on just. I don't see the chat window. Let me see if there's a chat window. More chat. Chat window doesn't come up because I'm on a screen mode, I think. Can you read the question again?
No. Now, how do you define happiness spiritually? I mean, as an Atman, as a human body, I can understand. I need to have certain excitement for the mind or senses. When you say spiritually, how are you defining happiness? I don't know if this has been discussed in earlier sessions. I just had this doubt.
What's your name?
I'm Shravan.
Oh, Shravan. Okay. Have you been listening to these lectures? I see you for the first time, or have you been?
No. I haven't.
Okay. Shravan, suppose I say, suppose we are all human beings, we are a community and things like that. See, I can only relate to happiness related. Oh, I bought a candy today, and that's a level of happiness. I ate a sugar candy or something like that. Or I had this experience. Oh, this is a level of happiness or something. So what happens is happiness is not. We can only relate to what we experience here, and then express that to somebody else and say this is how it is, right?
True.
Suppose I have a new candy with me. I got it from a store in Florida somewhere. It's a brand new candy. Okay. How would I transmit that knowledge to you? I can talk about it or to you for 3 hours, say it looks like this, it has got something, taste of something else. I keep on telling you that. But can I transmit that happiness to you? You have to actually have the same candy, right?
Right.
You have to eat the same candy. So the Atma, inner happiness, unless you go to that state, you will not be able to figure that out. It is not explicable through words.
Okay.
So all you have to do is trust the rishis and say there is a higher level of happiness within. And then that can be done through some methodology, which is dharma of some kind. Only then you will know that, oh my God, that is a higher level of happiness.
Okay.
That's exactly why the sensual happiness is so powerful, right? Because we have not got the experience of something higher. That is why we hold on to sensual experience so much.
True.
Param drishtva nivartate. In the second chapter of Bhagavad Gita, once a person gets the sight of Atman, the Jivatma, param drishtva nivartate, then his attraction to sensual happiness goes away. So unless one gets to that level, can't understand that happiness.
Okay.
All right. Any other questions?
Yeah. Hello.
Yeah. Who is this?
Shashi.
Okay. Tell me.
2 questions. One is like, what's the significance if you're in your diagram of the Adhyatma covering the other 2, Bhu and Bhuvaha, like both? And it covers everything, right? So in your diagram. So why is it not just a third circle, big circle, but it is covering the other 2? That's one question. Second question is, like earlier we said like moksha is Brahman because he's a upaya and upeya both. Okay, now we are saying dharma is also Brahman. So is that like, so you're saying like a Artha and Kama are not, but the other 2 are Brahman. That's what, is that what we are saying now?
See, the thing is, everything which comes out of Brahman is actually Brahman in a way, right?
Yeah, right. I understand. I understand that. Like, yeah. So here, the significance of that, I'm just wondering about it.
See, tell me the second question again. I'm not getting your second question properly.
Oh, the second question is earlier we said like when we want to reach moksha, what is the upaya and what's the upeya? So moksha is basically Brahman. Okay, now we are saying that dharma also is Brahman.
See, let's try to understand this. Okay, see, the seed dharma is Brahman. Okay, that means from which everything comes is actually the nature of the cause, right? Like how, suppose I put a mango seed into the seed and then water it, and then after 5 years I see a mango tree, right? So the nature of the mango seed expresses itself into the tree. Similarly, the seed of this universe, that is the nature of Brahman, expresses itself as the nature of universe. So in that sense, Brahman is dharma. So that is why the term called Krishnam, Dharmam, Sanatanam is there. See, the dharma has different significance. For example, see, in one level we say dharmo vishvasya jagatah pratishtha. That means all the natural laws of this universe are all controlled by this strange dharma, which keeps the planets, stars, and everything in their orbits, which makes sure that the seed grows into a tree when planted, and the right amount of fertilizers and sun rays and everything are given to it, and a child grows into a adult. All these things are dharma, which is a natural force in this universe. That itself is dharma. But where does it come from? From the causal force, which is Brahman, which is Sat, and which also has other nature of Chit Ananda, Sat Chit Ananda, and other Jnana, Satyam, Jnanam, Anantam, Immortality, Amritatva, and many other natures right in the seed itself. All of them are the nature of the seed, and that expresses itself as this universe. So Dharma is the very nature of Brahman, as well as the feature of paths that lead to Brahman. So in a way, actually, Dharma, the term Dharma is used in a very confusing way. Let's put it this way. Why would you want to use the same word for different things? But it's complex. That's how the rishis have used. And there is a meaning for it. All the activities in this universe we do consciously, if it leads to Brahman, these activities are known as Dharma also. So we say, don't just go after too much money. That is not Dharma for you. If we say that, what does it mean? Your true nature is also Jivatma, Ananda, and everything like that. But just by money, you're not going to buy your happiness. So if you focus all your 100 years or whatever your lifespan into just making money, are you going to enjoy the effects of the money? You think about that. And also there's higher level of Ananda. So you need to focus on Dhyana to get to the fourth state of Turiya and find that happiness. So in that sense, it is not Dharma, because it is not leading you to the true state of what you are really. The first question you asked was, why is the Atman bubble encompassing all these bhuhu bhuvaha, right? What it means is, Yena jnatena sarvamidam jnatam bhavati. They say, the Upanishad says, right, knowing what will you know everything? Means the realm of Atman includes everything else. That means the enjoyment of sensual enjoyments, the realm of Devata enjoyment, and everything is included in the Atma level of experience. What does it mean? The mean is, the thing is, sensual enjoyment may be in a different way when you come to that level. In the sense that you don't have the karma or ajnana to have a lower level of experience. But the thing is, everything will be sarvam khalvidam brahma, right? Whatever comes out of the cause, it's also Brahman. Jiva, Jada, Paramatma, everything else is also Brahman, right? So this is understood only by an experience like Ramakrishna Paramahamsa, right? When he says in one way, look, this karma, jnana, bhakti, and they're all paths. Like also, like how you say, get to the top of the top of some terrace or something, you use a ladder, and you go up the ladder and you sit on the top of the terrace. When you look back, you see everything as jnanamaya. See, when we go up, the ladder looked like a ladder, just a path or something like that. When I go to the higher level, my knowledge increases, jnana increases, and I get to the divine knowledge state. There, when I look back, everything around is only chinmaya or consciousness or Brahman only. So that the understanding of everything else is Brahman comes at a very high level. So that's why I put this together.
Okay, sounds good. Yeah. Thanks.
Okay. Next question. If not, we'll go to the next level. Oh, go ahead,
I
please.
have a
Go
question.
ahead. Yeah, go ahead.
Was there anyone else? Can I go ahead?
No, go ahead.
This
Go
is
ahead.
Artha.
Go ahead. Yeah,
Okay.
go ahead.
Yeah. This is in relation with the second question that was just asked about Dharma being the nature of us, right? Like the path. So when we say we want to attain liberation, moksha, and the path that we have to take is also Dharma, right? So when you were explaining, you were saying like the whole universe, or even let's say the simple example, the mango seed, if you just sow it, then it's going to come out as a mango tree. And that is its dharma, and it happens naturally. So our dharma is actually to find out the real Ananda, But why is it not happening naturally? I mean, why do we seem to have, why don't we act according to a dharma by nature? I mean, it's something that we have to strive for and go for it. But a mango seed just goes simply into a mango tree.
Exactly. Good question. That means that over time, we have done something, some karmic coverings we have created. We have used our freedom, some individual freedom in our past lives or whatever it is, that has caused our ajnana. That means it causes some kind of avidya is covered up. That is, our true jnana is covered up by some kind of avidya, which is due to some past karmas. This is a rough explanation, right? There's a rough explanation. Then becomes what is avidya, what is karma, why is this natural state gone? It's a hard to understand concept. All we can say is we've been around for a long, long time in different bodies and different experiences. We have had a lot of experiences. And we have used our freedom to go away from the cause, away from the Ananda, to go get attracted to the lower level of happiness, which are sense related. Unfortunately. So then it comes, oh, how did we get this karma? Did karma come first, or did our ajnana come first? So karma, avidya, anadi chakra, we don't know what came first, like the seed and the tree, right? So that is very complicated. We have to again come back to Leela theory and say it is also God's Leela. So many of these root cause problems we don't understand. I asked my guru once, Sri KSV once, do we understand God? No, not really. Not in the state. You have to get to the Turiya state to understand God. Okay, do we understand karma? No, not really. You have to get to the Turiya state. Do you understand avidya? No. What do we understand? Very little, enough to bring us food, water, shelter, and some entertainment, and turn on the Netflix and watch some shows. So our whole thing is we're in a bubble, very little bubble. And we think we know it all, or we might think, or we may be happy in whatever we are in our small bubbles. So this natural state is covered due to ajnana, which is not explicable. Then question comes, how do you really, again, the answer is similar. When you get to the state, you will really know why this happened. That is, only when you realized Brahman, you will know the answers to all questions. Till then, your job is to find a methodology or process to get to Brahman. Just like how I said previously, we are in a forest, an arrow came and hit our chest, and now we have to see how to get it out and then get our pain out. So we are already stuck in this universe. We have to find a way out.
Sir, I'm Sridhar.
Yes, go ahead.
Sir, is it Dharma is a Kalyana Guna of the Bhagwan or attributes?
All gunas of Brahman. He has only Kalyana gunas. He is a Nikhila, Akhila Heya Pratyanika. He does not have any defiling characteristics. In fact, the very presence of Brahman will take all the defiling characteristics away.
So it's a Dharma is also, yeah. Yes, sir. So Dharma is one of the attribute of the Bhagwan, or is it complete?
No, Dharma is all attributes.
All attributes.
Dharma is nature of Brahman. See, that is why Krishna is known as Dharma. Krishnam Dharmam Sanatanam. That means Lord Krishna himself is Dharma.
Yeah, but we have in Vishnu Sahasranama like a Satya Dharma Parakrama, like that, in Dharma, like it's one of the attributes. Yeah.
Dharma takes a different names, like a huge river, a huge river with tributaries, right? So, in the root, it is known as Satya, Brahman, and all. And that is identical to Dharma. But when it comes to tributaries, it takes different names to it. Even Jnana becomes Dharma. For example, the Ashtadhyayi, we'll come to that in the next set of slides. All the knowledge forms, the Vidyasthanas, which are the Vedas, Upanishads, Puranas, it's different, 18 different Dharma Shastras, everything They are all dharma only. There are different forms of dharma only.
Okay, sir. Yeah.
So dharma is a very all-encompassing word. Why am I saying this? We should not say, oh, Brahmana dharma, Kshatriya dharma, all these things, this came much later. We need to understand the true meaning associated with the words and why things come, and we need to understand the science, physics of all this in depth. Otherwise, we will be, we will come to, oh, he's only talking about Brahmana dharma, Vaishya dharma. These people are all bad people. They are racist. They want the advantage from one caste to the other caste. They're talking about caste dharma. It becomes a low-level talk when the truth is far above and high. And what was the true intention of the rishis? Once we understand it, we understand all the tributaries very well, and we will know the true significance of the tributaries, why, what, when. We will come to that in the next class probably, but I'm making sure none of us forget what was in the mind of the rishis and the Dharma Shastras and also the books like Mahabharata, Itihasa, Ramayana and all. We need to understand the word properly, because nowadays the term is used in very mistakable context.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir.
One more question.
Okay.
Yeah.
What's your name?
I want to know if Prakriti acts like a catalyst to understand Ananda, to get into this questioning and answering. Maybe it will help to understand the answers faster. What is the role of Prakriti in this?
Prakriti is a dharma, right? Like pathway to moksha, right?
Okay.
That's what it is. So the Prakriti is used as a methodology in the Sri Vaishnava system to get to moksha. Then how does it work? It's at the individual level. It's at a personal level, right? Prakriti works for Dhruva and Prahlada in a different way, for Alvars in a different way. We have to figure out how it works to us in as a person, right?
Yeah.
This becomes a personal quest. There is no general answer to this. But generally in the system, it is believed whoever does Prakriti, truly, they will reach the Ananda of Brahman eventually.
Okay.
Okay. Here we are using the term dharma. Why am I using the term dharma? In the Bhagavad Gita, dharma is used in Sarva Dharman Parityajya Mamekam Sharanam Praja. That is, we are coming to the 1866 verse or something. There, what is that Sarva Dharman Parityajya? What does dharma mean there? There it is more like Karma Yoga, Jnana Yoga, Bhakti Yoga, and different schemes, different methodologies to get to some level of spiritual realization, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay. So I'm now coming with an all-encompassing ideology of the term dharma and slowly getting to the swadharma, varna dharma and all eventually. But I just want to get through this, okay? Let's go to the next slide. Okay, now get back. So the essence is sensual pleasures are limited. That is Adhibhuta level. That is, essential level is known as Adhibhuta level. Prana and Devata level is Adhidhaiva level. And the higher level is Adhyatma level, which is experienced in Dhyana and Samadhi and all those. Okay, now I want to make a very clear point here. Dharma is not just an intellectual scripture analysis exercise. Do you understand this? It is not just studying Shastras, books and stuff like that, talking about it. It's not just that. Fundamentally, Dharma was reserved. The term Dharma was reserved for a higher ideal of directly realizing Brahman using a methodology of some kind of spiritual process, which is known as Adhyatma Yoga. Adhyatma, like how the Kathopanishad says as Adhyatma Yoga Digamayana Devam Matva Harsha Shoka Ujahati. Adhyatma Yoga, that is Dharma. That is a methodology, the yoga which takes you to Adhyatma. And it was not, see, nowadays what is happening to Dharma? Many, oh, this guy is a very educated person. What do you say? How educated is he? He is a Chatush Shastra Pandita. That means he has studied 4 Shastras. That has become, by just intellectual analysis of all the Shastras, he is a big Pandita. Does it mean he has attained Brahman? Does it mean he has attained a realization right here? We don't know. He might have. But the focus is going away to real experience. So Dharma is a real process, real experience, not just intellectual analysis, arguing, and things like that. Not just text analysis. That is why Yajnavalkya, one of the most famous rishis, said, Ayam tu paramo dharmaha yat yogena atmadarshanam. You see the term dharma here. Ayam tu paramo dharmaha. This is the highest level, or a high level. Let us say paramaha means very high level. This is a very high level dharma. What is the dharma? Yat yogena atmadarshanam. Using yoga methodology, if you see the self, here Atma is Paramatma. That means Atman. It's everything else. The Atman of the Upanishads, which is different from just Jivatma, right? It is the Paramatma himself. So that dharma which takes you as a path in a form of a yoga is high dharma. That Lord Krishna says it in a different way in the Bhagavad Gita, where he explains Karma Yoga, Jnana Yoga, Bhakti Yoga, and as a methodology to reach that Atman, Brahman, or Krishna. You got the point here, right? I want to make sure that Dharma is not just intellectual textbooks and other things, it's beyond it. We talked about Satya, Artha, that's truth, and Satya is same as Ananda in a way, because Satya, that is where the Brahman is a complex person. It's not like one entity, not just existence. It is existence, Ananda, it is consciousness, it is unlimited, and it is immortality, Amrutatva, everything put in one is Brahman. It's like a package. That's why the Upanishad says, Anandam Brahmano Vidvan, Nabhiveti Kadachaneti. Again, it says Satyam Jnanam Anantam Brahma in some other place. Once you reach Brahman, your fears are all gone. Ataso bhayam gato bhavati. Once you reach Brahman. So everybody wants freedom from fear of any kind. See, today we may be talking everything is fine and all those things. So many people get mental illness. The brain starts, slowing down. As they're young or old, they may have issues. So the thing is, the fear is there, right? The fear should go away from anything, pure, free from all fears. That is to reach Brahman. Who does not want to do that? Okay. Now we talked about Dharma, and I wanted to say something about time-space change into Atma Gyana. Why are we not feeling this hunger naturally? See, for example, we feel suppose we are in a place where a lot of mosquitoes are there. So we feel the botheration from mosquitoes, the bites and things like that till we are awake. But if we are asleep, we don't feel the pain of the mosquito bites or anything like that. We just totally are removed. Because we have gone to a different state of mind, right? From the wake state, we have gone into sleep state. Similarly, if we are in the state of Indriya Loka, that means only experiencing sense objects, you are not able to see the inner happiness zone, Brahma Nirvana. The Bhagavad Gita says about Brahma Nirvana, right? Yanisha sarva bhutanam yasyam jagrati sammemi yasyam jagrati bhutani sa nisha pashyato munehe. That means these people are all awake in the state of sense and sense objects. The yogi is awake in a different world, different realm altogether of Atma Gyana. There, he is in a different state of happiness. That's what Bhagavad Gita says. And yogi, in the yogic method, what it is you look at your body. Right in your body, there are centers known as chakras. And the yogi's purpose is to go from the lower level of the chakras to the higher level of chakras. Then he will go from the lower level happiness to the higher level happiness. The low level chakras are base instincts like hatred, jealousy, attraction, this one. All these things are low level ones. The higher level is a suprasensory, highly universal love, universal knowledge, and so all those things come at the higher level. So the consciousness, our consciousness is there. The center of our prana will be moving up and down in our body along the sushumna or the spinal cord, people say. So the job of a yogi is to take his average level of consciousness and pull it out of the lower levels to the higher level. That is the time-space change we're talking about. Any doubt here?
It sounds
Can you
like
speak to some of the graphics on the slide?
One at a time, please. Again, tell me again.
Can you speak to the graphics on the slide? What does those rectangles on the left top corner mean?
Okay. The 0, 0, 0 on each of these vertical rectangles are chakras in the body. From Muladhara, I'm forgetting the name of the chakras. Muladhara, Manipura. Wait a minute. Swadhisthana, Manipura. Swadhisthana, Manipura, then Agnya, Vishuddhi.
Agnya.
So these are the chakras. You can refer to the chakras. I don't remember the names exactly now, right? The 3 plus 4, they've risen Sahasrara in the top, right? There are 7 chakras are there here. So what these things refer to is each person is at a different level on an average. Usually they're all below the Nabhi level, where only sensual pleasures are visible to us. You go see a movie, you have some reaction. You see something, you have some reaction. So all these are because our consciousnesses are at the lower levels. You touch something, we have a reaction. All the sensual relationships bring your consciousness to lower level chakras. So different person will have an average. So it's going up and down is like almost like a signal wave, right? On an average, somewhere they are. But for a yogi, he goes to the top and on an average, he may be at a very high level in the chakras. That's the idea here.
Okay. Also, the term, the time-space change, that is a new terminology you're introducing.
Don't worry about that time-space change terminology. It's not. It is what it is the external senses are in a see, it's actually very deeply yogic, by the way, right? What it is there is an internal Surya. So, okay, let me explain to you what that means. We're going slightly off the subject, but we'll just finish it up quickly. See, in the sensual world, we have a time space, right? That is, we have 365 days, so many minutes, so many, and all those things, because we are using from the idea of the external earth rotating around the sun kind of a thing, right?
Yeah.
And our biological clock also gets used to it, and we wake up in the morning, sleep in the night kind of a thing, right? Usually, right? That is one time space, okay? But if your indriyas, or if your flow of mind is turned inward without touching any external objects and completely out of external objects, chitta vritti nirodha, if it happens, it goes to an internal time space where time appears different, there is also a what do you call, the moment of around the sun. That is why it's known as prana surya. There is a sun appearing internally. This now it goes to yogi territory. Okay, there light appears, sun appears. So that is why the in yoga, what do you call, different. That's a different science altogether. Right, in the yoga Upanishads and all, they go into very, very deep. In fact, Vidya Shankara Devalaya, there is one temple called Vidya Shankara Devalaya in Sringeri, near Sringeri. In that, a friend of mine has done a thesis as how the external cycles of time and the internal cycles of biorhythms and circadian rhythms and other things which happen in our body are related. And he has done a lot of research about how the Surya and other things, internal connection, internal realizations are related to the external world, you know, the sun, moon, and all the stars and solar system and other things like that. So that's a separate subject by itself.
So like in Madhyaniha, it says Surya Vipashin Manasa Panatu.
Different things. Again, it goes into too much. We should just slip to the next level because we are coming on Dharma first. Okay. This verse is very, very beautiful, right? Purana Surya Jyotir Darshana Bharata. India is known as Bharata. Bha means light. So we are all set of people who really want to be interested in knowing and realizing the light within. That's the general term for the community in India, called Bharata. And the other thing which is said here is Maunan Munir Bhavati na Aranyavasat Munihi Swalakshanam tu Yoveda Ta Munishreshta Uchyate. By just becoming without talking, that is just becoming silent is not the nature of a Muni, right? And just by going to a forest and living in a forest is not the nature of a Muni. That's not important. Swalakshanam tu Yoveda, who knows the true nature of self, true nature of Atman, he is a Munishreshta. So all these things refers to how one can know inside, and that's a very powerful, auspicious position, or very enviable position to have. Here I mentioned just the nature of our body, because this is also dharma of our body. This is known as a microcosm. Now I'm saying there is a dharma within our body. There is a nature within our body. In an anatomy, we say we have this heart system pumping, the brain system with the nervous system, the spinal cord system, you know, endocrinology, and that. We have so many things happening in our body, right? In the microcosm, and you have millions and miles of some 60, 100 million, 1,000 miles of you know, blood vessels and that and stuff like that they talk about. But there's also one other thing within us. We are connected to mind. We are connected to that's also the dharma of the body, right? So here the lower chakras, in fact, they say in this, the 14 lokas are within our body. The Atala, Vitala, Sutala, and all these lokas are right within the body. That's what they say. The yogic people believe this. Whether everybody else believes it is not a question. This is more a yoga science. And Bhagavad Gita is also partly yoga science, by the way. Also it says how the lower level impulses are animal impulses like malice, murder, consciencelessness, selfishness, prolonged confusion, jealousy, anger, fear, lust. All these things are like lower chakras. If they act on us, that is the thoughts which are lower in nature. Higher one is reason, willpower, direct cognition, divine love, divine sight, illumination, real vision of truth. They are higher levels. That's where the yogi goes to the Sahasrara chakra, Ajna chakra. So the higher chakras are Sahasrara. When you come lower, Ajna, Vishuddha, Anahata, Manipura, Swadhisthana, Muladhara. So these are the chakras which are said, right? So in fact, Muladhara is the separation between the good vidya or the better progress in the human beings versus degeneration, which goes lower than the Muladhara chakra. So this is just stuff which shows pictorially what is inside our body, which we don't talk about, which we don't never even think about, but it's right within us. This is related to dharma. Why? Dharma kshetre kurukshetre samaveta yutsavaha mamaka pandavaschaiva kimakurvata sanjaya. This verse is taken from the yogic people. See, there is a separate interpretation of Bhagavad Gita according to yoga, which is sort of, the lineage continued with the SRF, Paramahamsa Yogananda, and his teacher, Lahiri Mahashaya. They have written a separate type of analysis of yoga, of Bhagavad Gita. There, here they mention Dharma Kshetra, Kurukshetra, all. This is the body itself is this Dharma Kurukshetra. And this is supposed to be a Dharma Kshetra, but there are so many bad thoughts and everything coming within. So the fight between Kauravas and Pandavas, that is bad thoughts and good thoughts are always there. Dharma has to be restored. We have to win and go towards higher Dharma. That's what is the essence, and it starts right with our body. Why did I talk about this? Dharma refers to also this body. Tell me if we are going out of time. It's what 10:18. We can go further. It's no problem. Maybe we can go for 10 minutes. What do you guys say? All of you.
Yeah, 10 minutes should be
Okay, sir. Okay, sir. Yeah.
Okay. So now we talked about all the paths, dharma, right? Dharma we mentioned and said it's important to look at this properly. Can you see my slide, or I should change the way it is? Let me hold on a second.
We can see properly.
Okay, 1 second. I am not able to see it properly. Okay, now it's slightly better, but I'm missing something. Okay. If you look at it, we said there are so many paths people use, right? Last time, someone was mentioned about Nama Sankirtana, bhajans, rituals. All these things are there. There are so many different, different paths. Prapatti, Bhakti Yoga, Karma Yoga, Sankhya Yoga, and other things like Nama Sankirtana, Archana, Vandana, Dasya, charity, support, or many paths are there. What does it really do? It basically helps our consciousness from going to the Muladhara. Muladhara is in the lower layer, very low area, right? That is Muladhara chakra. From the lower levels, it allows our consciousness to go higher and higher because we come to a different level of understanding of truth. Our knowledge changes because our knowledge focuses on higher Ananda as we move higher. So all these pathways, the dharma or the methodologies, the activities help us reach higher level of Ananda, knowledge, everything like that. So this is known as also the Archiradi Marga. Archiradi Marga goes higher even more, that is to Brahmaloka and all those things. But Archiradi Marga is mainly within our Sushumna Nadi, that is our spinal cord. And this is a universally true process. Nothing, it only happens to Indians, South Indians, North Indians. No, nothing like that. It only happens to Brahmins. No, it happens to anybody, anywhere in the universe. There is no restrictions of any kind. Why am I bringing this? Our whole body is universal. Dharma is universal. There is no difference fundamentally, because in our previous Janma, what we did, in our previous other Janma, what we did, we don't know. So basically, we ended up with different bodies based on our previous karmas. But whatever methodology we use, Nama Sankirtana, bhajan, rituals, all will help you raise the Kundalini. But in the Sri Vaishnava Granthas, the term Kundalini is not that much used. They say it as Gayatri. So when they do Gayatri Mantra Japa, that's what the focus was supposed to be. That is why it is known as Brahma Gayatri. That means from doing Brahma Gayatri, they were taking their consciousness from the lower level to the higher level. So there is a physical, all the paths have a common flow. All the paths take your consciousness from the lower level to a higher level, and higher level is where Brahman is. Sahasrare, Shivena saha modate. In one verse it says Shivena saha modate. Sahasrare. In some other verse it says similar thing. So in the highest level of Sahasrara, they get the touch, realization of Brahman. Any doubts about this particular graphic and text?
So Krishna, we can go on.
Okay. So Dharma also in a different way. I'm coming back to Dharma and say what does Dharma means? Is a path. And what is a path? It is a path to go inward. That means the external thing is the Annamaya Kosha. So we have these 5 sheets, right? Just covering it up. And in our lives, Annamaya Kosha is about food, earning food, going after food, matter. All these things are in the Annamaya Kosha. The inner thing is the Pranamaya Kosha, is the inner airs. Apana, Udana, Samana, Gyana, Prana, all these are inner airs. That is the inner Kosha. Then it comes to Manomaya Kosha. Then it goes, Manoma is mind. Vijnanamaya Kosha is known as the land of the Jivatma, or the realm of Jivatma. And within it is Anandamaya Kosha, which is Parabrahman himself. So Rishis traveled through these koshas and found the methods of Dharma. Automatically they knew these are the methods to get inward. And they propagated these methods. How did they propagate? Through the Vedas and other Shastras, known as the Vidyasthanas. So the method of going inside was codified in terms of Shastra eventually. This slide, we will go through it and we'll come to one level and we'll stop there, okay? We'll come to the level of Shastras and then we'll stop. So Gyana from Brahman, the original Gyana is Dharma. Brahman is Dharma, we already said. From the Dharma, different knowledge systems arose, right? So what did the Maharshis do initially? Te dhyana yoganugata apashyan adhyatma vidyam. That means they went into state of dhyana yoga. They saw the mantras, they saw truth, they saw everything directly. So they did not go to the library and pick up the books and read about Vedas. No, there was no library at that time. There was only that. And then they could directly give it to the next level. Here I am explaining one concept known as how Jnana could be transmitted in the older generation. Sridharji asked about how can I know about Atma Ananda or something like that, right? That is a self Ananda, higher happiness and all those things. It is not transmittable to another person because each one has to explain or experience that Ananda for himself. Otherwise he cannot know, he or she. But in the olden time, people, very great and almost devatas like this picture is actually Dakshinamurti. Dakshinamurti is an epithet of Shiva. Dakshinamurti, it seems, he was under a Vatavriksha. Shankaracharya sloka says about this. And then he was a very young person looking, and the old people, rishis, were actually sitting in front and asking questions as to what is Brahmagyana, how do I get to Brahmagyana and all those things. Dakshinamurti never spoke anything, with just a smile and just silence, mauna. He transmitted his knowledge to the rishis. So that was possible only in those days. Some people knew how to do it. So did the rishis. Rishis could transmit their knowledge to the next generation. That methodology of transfer is forgotten. Later on, several thousand years ago, they started writing the Vedas. So all the Vedas were codified in Sanskrit and things like that. And Vedas, Upanishads, Upangas, and all these people came to the next level. But what did we lose? The Prayoga Vijnana, the implementation knowledge of how to transfer knowledge to somebody else, and also how to meditate, how to do tapas, how to do this dharma of going into bhuhu, bhuvaha, suvaha and experience adhyatma, realization. All of this is lost. But maybe a few people have it. Somewhere we need to find those people, some Brahmajnanis, Atmajnanis, who may not tell us who they are, what they are, then may never expose themselves. Those are some people we need to find out and find the Prayoga Vijnana which is lost. This was also shown by Bhishma, where he was on the bed of arrows. He didn't go to any library, but he said everything about Dharma by just the blessings given by Lord Krishna, and he realized everything within his body. So a yogi tries to understand everything about the universe by just doing meditation. Yena jnatena sarvamidam jnatam bhavati. So knowing within the Brahman, he knows everything around. This is shown in the Mahabharata times also, that methodology of seeing inward and realizing Brahman was there even during the Mahabharata Kala. That dharma is lost today. But I just wanted to remind you that this is still there. That was there at that time. I will stop here. We'll go from this 14 sources of knowledge. When I say knowledge, Gyana, that is also dharma. That is why we are talking about dharma in such a wide angle way, not like narrow-minded way, very, very with a wide angle lens. Okay, hope this is not confusing. Hope we are making some progress and some value to everybody. Any feedback, questions are welcome.
Krishna, it sounds like to pursue dharma in the proper direction, yoga is necessary, and to progress in yoga, a guru is necessary at all times. With little knowledge one has, it's like a blind man knowing his path around his own house. To go out, he needs help. So in the same way, with whatever little bookish knowledge or knowledge heard from other lectures can lead us to some extent, we will always need a guru. Do you agree with that?
No doubt at all. No doubt.
In cases like us, we are sitting here, in absence of a guru, what is the best alternative? I can read number of books, I can listen to you and many other lectures. Finally, it has to be coming out from my inner self. How do I bring it out? It's to me, it's a very tough exercise at this point.
Hard question. Don't ask such hard questions at the end of the. It's a hard question. What do we do? It's very tough. Very tough.
But the thing is, how do we? The progress needs to be there. It can be slow, but it still needs to be there. So, in our given circumstances, wherever we are, how do we really get to progress? Let us say, in the absence of a guru.
Can I tell you one simple thing? In Bible also it comes.
Okay.
Seek, you shall find it.
Okay.
The seek is in the hunger you have. So, see, you had a hunger when you, at least, I'm not about you or any particular thing. Right now, when we were all studying engineering in India, somebody said, oh, you should do GRE, you know that? I never even know what a GRE meant. Somebody said GRE. Oh, what is that? Suddenly, attraction came. I have to come to America. So I go into the library, studied about GRE, and did all kinds of TOEFL, GIFL, and all those things, and failed a couple of times, and passed a couple of times, and then somehow pushed myself and came to America. So what it is if you have hunger, you will find the cure. Now the hunger is, if the hunger is directed towards indriyas and indriyarthas, just to keep, just to compete with the next door neighbor. The guy has a bigger swimming pool, I'm going to get a bigger swimming pool. That guy has a tennis court in the back, I'm going to get a tennis court in my back. So if this is what is our goal, we will not have that hunger. We will forget that hunger to the Atma, right? The Jiva hunger to the Atma is a special case. Only some people get it. Not everybody will get it. And whoever gets it has to find similar people who can help them out. So they have to be happy with the person they find. So finding a guru, finding a methodology, finding this one, it's all a process. It's possible.
Okay, thank you, Krishna.
Very good. So if there are no other questions, we're going to call it a day. Hope this was useful. Asmat Gurubhyo Namaha, Asmat Paramagurubhyo Namaha, Asmat Sarvagurubhyo Namaha, Shri Krishna Parabrahmane Namaha, Shri Lakshmi Nrsimha Parabrahmane Namaha, Shri Lakshmi Hayavadana Parabrahmane Namaha, Sarvam Shri Krishna Arpanamastu.